when my girlfriend made out with my best friend at a party last weekend. She looked me dead in the eye and said, "It is just a game. Stop being so insecure." So I dumped her ass in front of 20 people and told my best friend exactly what I thought of him too. I am Tyler, 24, senior at State, studying business management. My girlfriend Madison, 22, is a communications major, and Connor, 24, has been my best friend since freshman year. We all run in the same social circle, go to the same parties, hang out at the same bars downtown. Last Saturday night, we were at this house party at my buddy Jake's place. Pretty typical college scene, music loud, beer pong in the basement, about 30 people hanging out. Madison had been drinking since we got there around 9 p.m., and by midnight she was definitely feeling it. Someone suggested truth or dare after we would all been drinking for a few hours. I thought it was stupid since we are not in high school anymore. But Madison was excited about it, and Connor was already volunteering to go first. So, whatever. About 10 of us sat in a circle in the living room. The game started pretty tame. Truth questions about who you would hook up with, dares to chug a beer or text your ex. I noticed Emma from Madison's sorority seemed nervous during the first few rounds, like she was waiting for something specific. Then it was Madison's turn. She picked dare. "I dare you to kiss the hottest guy in the circle," Emma said. But there was something forced about how she said it, like she was reading from a script. I am sitting right next to Madison. We have been together for 8 months, and I figured this was just going to be a quick peck on my cheek or something playful. Everyone's watching, waiting to see what happens. Everyone's watching, waiting a big show of it. Then her eyes stop on Connor, who is sitting directly across from me. "Connor," she says, with this smile I had never seen before. My stomach drops. "What?" Cassie is already getting up, walking across the circle to where Connor's sitting. He looks shocked, but not exactly unwilling. Madison sits down on his lap, grabs his face with both hands, and starts making out with him. Not a quick kiss, not a peck. A full-on, passionate makeout session that goes on for at least 30 seconds, while everyone else hoots and hollers like we are at a strip club. I am just sitting there in shock watching my girlfriend tongue kiss my best friend, while a room full of people cheer them on. When they finally break apart, Madison has this satisfied look on her face, like she just proved some kind of point. Connor looks guilty as hell but also smug, like he had been wanting to do that for a while. "What the was that?" I ask. Standing up, Madison rolls her eyes. "It is just a game, stop being so insecure." "Insecure? You just made out with my best friend." "God, Tyler, it didn't mean anything. You are being so dramatic." Connor finally speaks up. "Dude, it was just a dare. Don't make it weird. Don't make it weird." I look around the circle and everyone's staring at us. Some people look uncomfortable. Others seem entertained by the drama. Jake tries to defuse the situation. "Come on, guys. Let's just keep playing. But I am done with this shit. You know what, Madison? If you want to kiss other guys, you should be single." Her face goes white. "Tyler, don't we are done? And Connor, we are done too." I grab my jacket and head for the door. Madison's voice follows me. "You are embarrassing me in front of everyone. Tyler, come back." But I am already outside, calling an Uber. The next morning, I wake up to 17 text messages from Madison and 12 missed calls. All variations of how I overreacted and ruined the party and embarrassed her in front of our friends. Connor texted me once, "We need to talk." I ignored them both. What I didn't realize was that my public breakup had humiliated both of them in ways I couldn't have predicted, and they were about to team up to make my life hell in ways I never saw coming. Update 1: phone was dead all day yesterday, just saw all your comments. You guys wanted to know what happened next. So for the first few days after the party, I was getting blown up by both Madison and Connor. Madison's messages went from apologetic to angry to manipulative pretty quickly. "I made a mistake, but you are being cruel" turned into "you are just like every other controlling boyfriend," which turned into "everyone thinks you are pathetic for how you handled this." Connor kept trying to get me to meet up and talk. It didn't mean anything. "Bro, don't let a stupid game ruin our friendship." When I wouldn't respond, he started showing up places he knew I would be. The gym, my favorite coffee shop, even my apartment complex parking lot. The whole thing felt calculated in a way that made me realize this wasn't just about a dare gone wrong. Something about Emma's nervous behavior during the game kept bugging me too. On Wednesday, exactly 4 days after the party, I decided to find some answers. I tracked down Emma after her communications, 301 class. "Emma, can I ask you something about Saturday night?" She immediately looked uncomfortable. "Tyler, I really don't want to get involved in drama. I am not asking you to take sides. I just need to understand what really happened with that dare." She was quiet for a long moment, then glanced around to make sure nobody was listening. "Connor asked me to dare Madison to kiss someone. He said it would be funny to see you get jealous, and that Madison had agreed to it beforehand. They thought it would make you fight harder for her or something." My blood goes cold. "What kind of stuff?" "They are saying you were controlling and emotionally abusive to Madison, that you isolated her from her friends and got angry whenever she talked to other guys." Connor's backing up her story, saying he was worried about her but didn't know how to help. I felt like I had been punched in the gut. "Are you serious?" Madison posted this long thing on her Instagram story yesterday about recognizing the signs of an abusive relationship and how she is finally free to be herself. She didn't name you directly, but everyone knows who she is talking about. I pulled out my phone and checked Instagram. Sure enough, Madison had posted a series of story slides with quotes about emotional abuse, manipulation, and controlling partners. The kind of shit that gets shared in domestic violence awareness posts. "There is more," Emma says. "They are also saying you have anger issues, that you screamed at Madison in front of everyone at the party and made threats. That is completely false. I was calm when I broke up with her. I know. I was there. That is why I am telling you." But Tyler, they are not just spreading rumors. They are coordinating this. Emma explains that her roommate is in Madison's sorority, and she overheard Madison on the phone with Connor planning out their strategy. They were systematically reaching out to mutual friends, telling the same story about my alleged abusive behavior and backing each other up as witnesses. Madison said something about making you pay for embarrassing her. Connor was talking about how you ruined his reputation by calling him out publicly. It all clicked. This wasn't about the kiss at all. This was about revenge for humiliating them in front of our friend group. Over the next week, I watched my social circle slowly turn against me. Friends stopped inviting me to hang out. People would get quiet when I walked into a room. My buddy Marcus, who I have known since sophomore year, pulled me aside at the library. "Dude, I have to ask. Did you really threaten Madison at Jake's party?" "What? No. I broke up with her and left. That is it. Because Connor told a bunch of people you got in her face and said you would make her regret if she embarrassed you again." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. They weren't just spreading rumors. They were making up specific quotes and incidents that never happened. But the worst part came on Friday night. I am working my shift at the campus bookstore when Madison and Connor walk in holding hands. They make a big show of shopping together, laughing loudly, being all over each other right in front of the register where I am working. Madison comes up to buy something completely unnecessary, a single pen, and leans over the counter so her cleavage is right in my face. "Hi Tyler," she says, in this sickeningly sweet voice. "How are you doing? You look tired." I scan her pen without making eye contact. "That will be 50 cents. Connor appears behind her, puts his arm around her waist. "Hey man, no hard feelings about everything, right? Madison and I are really happy together. Good for you." "Yeah, it is amazing what happens when you are with someone who actually appreciates you," Madison says loud enough for the other customers to hear. Someone who doesn't get jealous and controlling over innocent fun. They walk out laughing, leaving me standing there furious and humiliated. My manager, who witnessed the whole thing, asks me if I am okay. Those are some toxic people, Tyler. Whatever they are trying to do, don't let them get to you. And what I found out the next week showed me their revenge campaign was just getting started. Update 2 had to deal with some family stuff this weekend. Finally getting time to update. The bookstore incident was just the beginning. Over the next 2 weeks, Connor, who had been co-captain of our intramural soccer team since junior year, started trying to get me kicked off. He went to our coach with some bullshit story about me being unstable and creating a hostile environment for other players. "Tyler's been acting really aggressive lately," he told Coach Martinez. Some of the guys are uncomfortable. He got really violent with his ex-girlfriend at a party, and now he is bringing that energy to practice. Fortunately, Coach Martinez has known me for 3 years and wasn't buying it. He called me into his office to get my side of the story. Connor's been acting strange, Tyler. Making accusations, but not wanting to file anything official. Says you are creating problems, but will not give me specifics. What is going on? I told him everything. The party, the breakup, the revenge campaign. Coach listened without interrupting. Look, Tyler, I don't get involved in personal relationship stuff, but if this affects team dynamics, or someone's creating a hostile environment, that is my business. Bonner's been making vague claims about your behavior, but I haven't seen anything to support it. So what does that mean? It means I am keeping you both on the team for now, but I am watching the situation. Any actual problems during practice or games, we will deal with them then. But I am not making personnel decisions based on gossip. Madison started showing up at places where I worked out, studied, or grabbed food, always with Connor. Always making sure I could see how happy and in love they were. But it wasn't just PDA. She would deliberately flirt with other guys right in front of me. At the campus Starbucks, she had leaned over the counter chatting up the barista while I am trying to study 2 tables away. At the gym, she would ask random guys to spot her on exercises she had never done before. Always within my line of sight, always loud enough for me to hear. The message was clear. Look what you lost. Look how desirable I am. Look how much better off I am without you. Connor's approach was different, but equally calculated. He started inserting himself into conversations about me with mutual friends, playing the concerned former best friend. I am really worried about Tyler, he would say. He is not handling the breakup well. Madison's scared of him, but she is trying to stay positive. My friend Danny told me about one conversation where Connor suggested I might be stalking Madison. He keeps showing up places where she is, Connor allegedly said. Madison thinks he is following her around campus. She doesn't want to make a big deal about it, but it is getting creepy. The irony was incredible. Madison was the one showing up where I was, but Connor was spinning it like I was the stalker. But the worst incident happened on Saturday night. Exactly 3 weeks after the party. I am working my weekend shift at this local restaurant. Around 8 p.m., I see Madison and Connor walk in with a group of about 8 people, all mutual friends from our social circle. Just my luck, they get seated in my section. The hostess doesn't know about my personal drama, so she assigns me their table like any other customers. The whole table goes quiet when I walk up with menus. Hi guys, can I start you off with some drinks? Madison smiles this fake innocent smile. Hi Tyler. Wow, what a coincidence running into you here. Coincidence my ass. They knew I worked there. Connor orders for the table, making a big show of being the leader. Can you bring us some bread while we decide? As I am serving them throughout the night, I can hear snippets of their conversation. Madison keeps making loud comments about being so much happier now, and how some people just cannot handle confident women. But the real kicker comes when I bring their check. Connor looks at the total and announces loudly, "Wow, 20% tip would be pretty generous for this service." Then he leaves exactly 10%. As they are walking out, Madison stops at the host stand and asks to speak to the manager. I watch her talking to him for 5 minutes, gesturing in my direction, putting on this concerned expression. Later, my manager pulls me aside. "Tyler, that woman said you were acting inappropriate toward her table. Something about making her uncomfortable and being unprofessional. She seemed genuinely upset. She is my ex-girlfriend. She has been harassing me for weeks. I figured it was something like that. Her story didn't really make sense, and I have never had any issues with your service. But I need you to know that if this continues, I might have to adjust your schedule to avoid problems." I was furious. They were now threatening my income because I wouldn't let them destroy my reputation quietly. That is when I realized I needed to stop playing defense and start fighting back. What I discovered when I started digging into their perfect little revenge relationship changed everything. Final update: been getting a lot of DMs asking for the conclusion. So here it is. After the restaurant incident, I decided to stop being reactive and start paying attention to what was actually happening with Madison and Connor's relationship. The first crack appeared about 2 weeks later. My friend Jessica, who is in Madison's sorority, mentioned something interesting at a study group. Madison's been acting really weird lately. She keeps asking questions about Connor's past relationships and whether he ever talked about her before you guys broke up. What kind of questions? Like, did Connor ever say he found her attractive when you were dating? Did he ever make comments about your relationship? She is obsessed with knowing if he liked her first or if he is just using her to get back at you. That got me thinking. Connor had been my best friend for 3 years. I started remembering conversations we had had about Madison, especially early in our relationship. Connor had made comments, little things I had brushed off at the time. You are lucky Madison's so chill about hanging out with other guys. Madison's really fun at parties when she lets loose. You should probably keep an eye on her when she drinks. I had thought he was just being a protective friend. Now I was wondering if he had been planting seeds of doubt while positioning himself as the alternative. The second crack came when I ran into Emma, the girl who had given Madison the dare at the party. She was at the coffee shop looking uncomfortable when she saw me. Tyler, can I tell you something? I feel really bad about what happened. You don't need to apologize. You didn't know it would blow up like that. That is just it. I kind of did know. Connor asked me to dare Madison to kiss someone. He said it would be funny to see you get jealous, and Madison agreed to it beforehand. My stomach dropped. What? They planned it. Connor told me Madison was feeling like you didn't appreciate her enough, and if she kissed someone else at the party, you would realize what you could lose and start treating her better. Madison thought it would make you more attentive, but I broke up with her instead. Yeah, and now they are both pissed that their plan backfired. Connor's mad because he wanted Madison to stay with you so he could keep manipulating the situation. Madison's mad because she lost you and got stuck with Connor, who apparently only wanted her to get back at you. Everything clicked into place. The kiss wasn't a spur-of-the-moment dare. It was a calculated manipulation, designed to make me jealous and insecure. When I called their bluff and walked away instead, their whole plan fell apart. Now Connor had Madison, but she was starting to realize he had orchestrated the whole thing just to break us up, and Madison was with Connor. But she was beginning to suspect he didn't actually want her. He just wanted to win against me. The final crack came at a party 3 weeks later. I wasn't going to go, but my friend Jake convinced me not to let them control my social life. When I showed up, Madison and Connor were already there, doing their usual performative couple routine, but I noticed something different. They weren't really enjoying each other's company. They were just making sure everyone else saw them together. Around midnight, I am getting a drink in the kitchen when I hear raised voices from the back patio. Through the sliding glass door, I can see Madison and Connor having an argument. Madison storms inside, tears running down her face, and Connor follows her looking pissed off. Madison, wait, don't touch me. You got what you wanted. Tyler was right about you. She pushes past him and heads for the front door. Connor stands there looking around at everyone staring at him. His reputation as the manipulative asshole finally out in the open. That was 2 months ago. Madison and Connor lasted about another week after that party before imploding completely. Madison ended up dropping out of our social circle entirely. Last I heard, she transferred to another school for her final semester. She sent me a long apologetic text about a month ago, but I never responded. Connor tried to repair his reputation, but the damage was done. Too many people had witnessed him manipulating the situation, and Emma had told several people about how he had planned the original dare. He became persona non grata pretty quickly. I heard through mutual friends that he was telling people I had turned everyone against him and that he was the real victim in all this. Classic Connor, refusing to take responsibility for his own actions. As for me, I learned a valuable lesson about not trying to fix people who don't want to be fixed, and not trusting people who create drama just to see how you will react. Sometimes the trash really does take itself out. Madison lost a good relationship for a revenge fantasy that backfired. Connor lost his best friend and his reputation for a girl who was just using him to make me jealous. Meanwhile, I am doing great. Better grades, better job. Funny how things work out when you refuse to tolerate disrespect. Edit. For everyone asking, yes, I am sure they planned the kiss. Emma showed me the text thread where Connor suggested that Dare and Madison agreed to it. They thought making me jealous would make me fight harder for the relationship. When I walked away instead, they were both humiliated and blamed me for not playing their game. Edit 2. No, I don't. Feel bad for either of them. They made their choices and dealt with the consequences. Play stupid games. Win stupid prizes.